So much for quitting, huh? So last night, what we have last night, I had Waller in that fucking last lineup, missing out by like 2 fucking points. The controversial call, which doesn't win me shit. I got slaughtered in the Millionaire fucking game tonight because I went too heavy on Austin Eckler. He did nothing. He did fucking nothing. Of course he did nothing. And I didn't call Cooks. I sure as fuck didn't call Everett. Which, what did we learn tonight from tonight's winning lineup is that we got to be more contrarian. I mean, there's a fucking kicker in there. I didn't call Cooks. I didn't call Everett. This is a fucking Cowboys slaughter stack. It's as contrarian as it gets. We got to go more contrarian. We're not going to fucking win because we're not fucking winning. Getting close. This one was as close as it got. 4 points out. And then Justin Herbert had to go and throw a fucking interception. I was 4 fucking points out. Maybe one more little catch to Allen in field goal territory. Dicker comes in with the field goal. Then they go into overtime. You shoulda, coulda, woulda yourself to death. Frustrating fucking game this is. Of course. Gotta be more contrarian. This ain't gonna fucking play out. We got a million dollar game. As always, brought to you by the new Pharaoh's Lounge Kickstarter. Let's get the fuck into this shit. This is close. Like I was about 3 fucking points out, 1.2 points. Just this one, this was the $3 one. Oh, it's fucking aggravating. It's fucking so aggravating. Austin Eckler. The second you run him heavy, it's like you're asking him to do shit. Fucking punt. And fuck Justin Herbert, you fucking asshole. The fucking Subway commercials, you fucking. Ah! Alright, let's get to this shit. 20 captains. Gotta be more contrarian. Alvin Kamara. Travis Etienne. We have to start getting it down to 10 captains. We may have to modify this here system. Trevor Lawrence. Huh. Chris Olave. Derek Carr. Calvin Ridley. When I heard Bethard might play, so let's put Bethard in for a lineup just in case. Just in case. The $1 million game. Ridley. Kirk. Mikey T. Taysom Hill. We got Winston, Luton, Hayner, Rourke, Ingram. The Saints D. Bradley Group A. Raheed Shaheed. Bradley McManus. Williams, no. Jaguars defense, yes. Zay Jones. Foster Moreau. Hank Bigsby. Kendry Miller. Kendry Miller is where the prospective captains begin. We gotta go get there. All right, here we go. Top card in the deck, Mr. Alvin Kamara. Accrued 19 carries for 68 yards and hauled in 7 of 8 targets, 36 yards during Sunday's defeat to the Texans. Kamara accounted for all but 6 of Nolan's 25 rushing attempts. He's now averaged 17 carries to his first 3 games this season. He also factored prominently into the passing game for the second time in 3 weeks, tying with wideout Chris Olave and do-it-all tight end Taysom Hill for a team high in receptions. Kamara's workload has likely benefited due to the absence of number 2 running back Jamal Williams, but the former's production was still limited by the fact that the Saints crossed the Texans' 20-yard line just twice in the loss. The 28-year-old has now averaged 3.6 yards per carry in each of the past 2 games, and this lack of explosiveness could limit his opportunities for touchdowns, especially if Williams returns from IR in time for Thursday's matchup versus Jacksonville. A lot of names here. Olave, Hill, Jamal Williams coming in to fuck things up. So, Olave, Hill, Jamal Williams. All 3 men are on the board. Jamal Williams on the board. Chris Olave on the board. Taysom Hill is on the board. Down to the bottom of the deck. Michael Jacobson, no. Taylor. We're looking for news from October. Looking for a sleeper at the bottom of the deck. Fucking frustrating loss tonight. This is the most. And the game sucked. My asshole. Fucking 3 and out, 3 and out. Penalty, penalty, penalty. They've got to do something about the goddamn penalties. This fucking game was excruciating. This was longer than a fucking Yankee game tonight. Fucking very frustrating. Every fucking play was a penalty. That being said, a bunch of here we go, here we go. What do we got? What do we got? JP Holtz practice squad. Brought up to the Saints active roster prior to Sunday's loss to the Texans, failing to catch any stats in his 9 total snaps, one of which was in the offense. The tight end will head back to the practice unit, wait for the next chance to join New Orleans for a game. A.T. fucking Perry, inactive. Sunday's game against the Texans. Despite making the Saints roster, Perry has yet to see the field. The rookie 6th-round pick is currently behind Chris Olave, Michael Thomas, Raheed Shaheed, Keith Kirkwood, and Lynn Bowden on the whiteout chart. A whole bunch of motherfuckers popping up now. It's 2 for Olave. Thomas on the board. Shaheed on the board. Kirkwood on the board. Bowden on the board. Snoop. Snoop Conner. Nothing. Adam the Apprentice. Injured reserve. Sustained the injury in the second half of Sunday's win over the fucking old news. Oh no, this was new. Win 34-0 win over the Patriots. He'll be forced to sit out for the next 4 games and will be eligible to return on November 12th against the Vikings. P. Washington. Old news. Seth Williams. Nothing. Luke Faro. Nothing. Elijah Cooks, officially active for Sunday's game against the Colts. The rookie undrafted free agent was a healthy scratch for the first 5 games of the season, but he's suiting up Sunday and will make his NFL debut if he sees the field. Zay Jones is inactive, but Cooks isn't likely to see more than a handful of offensive snaps since the rest of the receiving core is in good health. Zay Jones on the board. John Trey Kirkland. Doesn't matter. Old news. Is it old news? Yeah, they played Sunday, which was a couple days ago. So that's old fucking. I don't know. Let's see. The Saints signed Kirkland to the practice squad. He first signed with the Saints in August, will now rejoin the same practice squad from which he was released in September. Kirkland will now fuck off. Just want to cover all the angles. All the angles. Old news. Juwan Johnson, listed as a non-participant on Monday's estimated practice report. Johnson hasn't played since week 3. In his week 6 absence against the Texans, Taysom Hill, Foster Moreau, and Jimmy Graham handled tight end duties for New Orleans. Hill turned 8 targets into a 749 line, and Moreau caught all 4 of his looks for 33 yards. Graham wasn't targeted in the loss. That's 2 for Hill. Moreau is on the board. And Graham is on the board. Jordan Mims signed to the active roster Saturday. Mims signed with the Bills as an undrafted free agent April 29th but failed to make the team's roster. He signed with the Saints practice squad August 31st and is now on the active roster as the depth field back option behind Al Kamara and Kendry Miller. With Jamal Williams working his way back from an injured reserve, Mims rushed for 1,370 yards and 18 touchdowns on 261 carries in his final season at Fresno State. Kamara, Miller, Williams. That's 2 for Jamal. Kamara is on the board, as well as Miller is on the board. Jordan Mims, an intriguing play. Very intriguing. Eno Benjamin, nothing. Jermichael Hasty, inactive for Sunday's game against the Colts. Hasty played 15 snaps over the last 2 games, 6 on offense, 9 on special teams. He did not record a stat in either contest and will be a healthy scratch for week 6. Agnew received no targets, returned 1 kickoff for 53 yards, and returned 1 punt for 6 yards during Sunday's win against the Colts. The 28-year-old played 20 offensive snaps as Jacksonville's number 3 wideout with Zay Jones unavailable, but went without a target for the second straight game. Agnew caught 2 of 4 passes for 49 yards in week 3, but in 4 of the games this season he has just 1 reception for 5 yards and 3 carries for -1 yard. That's 2 for Zay. Jimmy Graham failed to haul in his lone target during Sunday's win against the Patriots. No, they played the Texans. So fuck off, Jimmy. Patriots shit. Did they? No. New Orleans played the Texans yesterday. We're all fucked up here. Brenton Strange caught 2 of 3 targets for 27 yards and a touchdown during Sunday's win over Indianapolis. The rookie second-round pick had just 2 catches for 7 yards across the first 5 games of the season, but he played a season-high 55% of Jacksonville's offensive snaps Sunday. He saw a similar playing time as fellow reserve tight end Luke Farrell, while Evan Engram remains the clear starter. Strange could work as Jacksonville's number 2 tight end going forward, but it's unlikely to see much action in the passing game if Engram stays healthy. Ingram is on the board. Luke Farrell, great name, on the board. Luke. Where are we? Johnson. Old fucking news. Kendry Miller, now we have prospective captains. Recorded 2 rushes for -1 yard and caught one of 2 targets for 13 yards during Sunday's loss to the Texans. For the second week in a row, Miller was the only Saints running back to see any playing time behind starter Alvin Kamara. However, the rookie backup played sparingly this week, 18 offensive snaps compared to when he totaled 90 yards in the Week 5 blowout versus New Orleans. In 4 games, versus New Orleans? No, he plays for New Orleans. Whatever. The blowout versus the Patriots. In 4 games this season, Miller has only received notable playing time during the 34-0 dropping of the Patriots and the Week 3 loss to Green Bay, as both Kamara and number 2 running back Jamal Williams were unavailable. Miller's role only figures to decrease once Williams is activated from injured reserve, which could come ahead of Thursday's game against the Jaguars. Williams, Kamara. Anyone else? No. That is 3 for Jamal Williams. That is 2 for Kamara. This game's going to be a grinder, isn't it? Tank Bigsby rushed 3 times for -2 yards and caught his lone target for 6 yards during Sunday's win against the Colts. Bigsby played 17 of 64 offensive snaps and received his highest number of touches since he had 7 carries in the season opener. The rookie third-round pick continues to operate as Jacksonville's number 2 tailback, but doesn't have much fantasy utility, with starter Travis Etienne excelling as a workhorse. Etienne. Foster Moreau reeled in all 4 targets for 33 yards during Sunday's defeat against the Texans. Moreau benefited from his uncharacteristically passing-centric outing for the Saints offense, as he logged more than 2 receptions and 20 receiving yards for the first time this season. Fellow tight end Juwan Johnson missed his 3rd game in a row while quarterback Derek Carr attempted a season-high 50 passes. Therefore, it is not surprising that Moreau could see an uptick in production in this contest. Would see. The 26-year-old logged his team's 5th most targets and 6th most receiving yards, and he's now totaled 7 receptions on 7 targets for 59 yards and 1 touchdown over 4 games played. Expect Moreau to once again take a back seat if Johnson returns for Thursday night matchup against Jacksonville. So Carr and Johnson. Is Johnson playing? He's in play, right? That's Juwan Johnson, right? Non-participant. Yeah, he ain't playing. Fuck him if he is. He ain't playing. Zay Jones, estimated as a non-participant on Wednesday's practice report. Jones remains day-to-day after missing Week 6 game against the Colts. The veteran wideout missed Week 3 and 4, but returned for Week 5 only to aggravate the injury. He has 8 catches for 78 yards and 2 touchdowns on 18 targets this season. Calvin Ridley and Christian Kirk have established themselves as Jacksonville's top wideouts. Kirk is on the board. Ridley is on the board. And what do we have over here? Johnson. I don't think he's playing. And Carr. All these Saints. A19. Jacksonville's defense. Ooh. They are a brutal bunch of soldiers, huh? Look at that. 12 points, 5 points, 20 points. Dangerous fucking team, aren't they? 3 sacks, 3 interceptions. Jacksonville defense. Jamal Williams, estimated as a limited participant on Monday's practice report. That would suggest Williams will soon be designated to return from injured reserve after missing the last 4 games. Prior to going down with the hamstring strain, Williams turned 27 carries into 74 scoreless yards and caught 2 passes for 7 yards. Once he returns, Williams will slide behind Alvin Kamara and compete for touches, along with rookie Kendry Miller. That's 3 for Kamara. That's 2 for Miller. A19. Bradley McManus. 3 for 3 on field goals, 4 for 4 on PATs during Sunday's win against the Colts. The veteran kicker showed off his range week 6 as he converted field goals from 48, 49, and 51, all 3 of which came during the second half. McManus now attempted 3 field goals in 4 of the past 5 games, and he's 12 for 14 through 6 contests overall this year. Raheed Shaheed accrued 2 receptions on 6 targets for 85 yards and 1 touchdown during Sunday's loss versus the Texans. Shaheed showed up for the first significant impact since the season opener against Tennessee. The 6-foot speedster has continually served as New Orleans' top deep threat so far this season, and both of his receptions came on deep passes Sunday. This included the team's lone receiving touchdown with a 34-yard pass down the middle of the field, as well as on the team's longest play from scrimmage, a 51-yard pass from Derek Carr and a first down shot midway through the fourth quarter. Shaheed also got involved in the rushing game with 2 end-round carries, and he's now totaled 5 rushing attempts for 29 yards through 6 games. Shaheed's speed and versatile usage should continue to make him the Saints' most explosive playmaker, though his 21 touches through 6 weeks doesn't bode well for his game-to-game consistency in fantasy. We just need 1. Carr. That's 2 for Carr. Raheed Shaheed, explosive playmaker. Goddamn. Blake Grupe connected on 2 of 4 field goal attempts and his only extra point try during Sunday's loss to the Texans. Grupe had the worst performance of his young career Sunday after making all but the combined kicking attempts in 4 of the first 5 games this season. The undrafted rookie missed multiple field goals for the first time, narrowly missing a 52-yarder in the first quarter, followed by a bad miss on a 29-yard attempt in the fourth. Group A's misses ultimately caused the Saints to have to be more aggressive on its trips into the finals in the red zone, resulting in a turnover on downs, followed by a game-sealing interception. The 5'7" kicker will now look to bounce back versus Jacksonville on Thursday Night Football. You piece of shit. But he's got points. You know, a game like this could end up being a double defense game. Something that must be considered. This game could go double fucking defense, especially if Trevor Lawrence is out or he's hobbled. This could be a double fucking defense night. Evan Engram. Brought in all 7 targets for 41 yards in the Jaguars' win over the Colts on Sunday. Engram led the Jaguars in receptions by a comfortable margin as Trevor Lawrence threw for only 181 yards at 6.0 yards per attempt. The veteran tight end now has 7 catches in 3 of his last 4 contests, and he's already up to 44 targets through 6 games, putting him on pace to surpass last season's 98. Engram next takes aim at the Saints' defense in a Week 7 road matchup, although it remains to be seen if he'll be operating with Lawrence or C.J. Beathard as his quarterback in that contest. So 1 for Trevor Lawrence, 1 for C.J. Beathard. C.J. Beathard. Nothing on Nathan Rourke. Jake Haener, reinstated from the NFL. Haener will return to the Saints after completing his 6-game suspension for violating the league's performance-enhancing drug policy. The rookie will be back at his role as the team's third, maybe fourth string quarterback behind the likes of Carr, Winston, and possibly Taysom Hill. That's 3 for Hill. That's 3 for Carr. That's 1 for Winston. Jameis Winston on the board. Jake Luton, waived. With rookie Jake Hayner coming off suspension, Luton is no longer needed behind Derek Carr and Jameis Winston. The 2026th round pick by Jacksonville, Luton hasn't played in a regular season game since his rookie year when he started 3 contests, totaling 2 touchdowns and 6 fucking interceptions, good lord. That is 4 for Carr. It's 2 for Winston. Jameis Winston, old news. Taysom Hill caught 7 of 8 targets for 49 yards during Sunday's loss to Houston. He also rushed once for 4 yards and completed his lone passing attempt for 2 yards. He logged his most productive receiving stat line of the season after totaling just 4 receptions on 6 targets for 16 yards coming into Sunday's loss. The Swiss Army knife tight end also served as a primary piece of New Orleans' receiving game, tying with running back Alvin Kamara and wideout Michael Thomas for the team's most targets behind Chris Olave. This was likely due in part to the absence of number 1 tight end Juwan Johnson, who missed his 3rd game in a row due to a calf injury. Fellow tight end Master Moreau also logged season highs in receptions and targets, so Hill's receiving production was likely due largely to an uncharacteristically high 50 passing attempts from quarterback Derek Carr. Expect Hill to continue playing a versatile role as receiver, rusher, and or passer during a Week 7 contest against Jacksonville in Thursday Night Football. It's a lot of fucking names they just dropped in this. Kamara, Thomas, Olave. So, 4 for Kamara, 2 for Thomas, 3 for Olave. Moreau, Johnson's not playing. So Moreau and Carr. That is 2 for Moreau. That is 5 for Carr. Good shit. Lollipop. Michael Thomas compiled 5 receptions on 8 targets for 45 yards during Sunday's loss to the Texans. Thomas logged almost the exact same stat line for the entire 6th game in a row. The 30-year-old pass catcher recorded a season low in receiving yards, but he still finished past just 20 yards shy of his season high for receiving yards set in the Week 5 blowout win against New England. He also continued to factor in as one of the primary pass catchers in the Saints' struggling offense, tying with running back Alvin Kamara and Swiss Army knife tight end Taysom Hill for the team's 2nd most targets behind wideout Chris Olave. Thomas was targeted on the last hope 4th down passing attempt by Derek Carr, but the pass was underthrown and intercepted at the 2-yard line with 20 seconds remaining. Thomas has been a reliable target over the middle of the season, but he's averaged a relatively modest 10.8 yards per reception through 6 games. So Carr, Hill, Olave. That's 6 for Carr. That's 4 for Hill. That's 4 for Olave. That is 5 for Kamara. All right, we got them all, right? We got them all. Mikey T. We had it all. Just like Bogey and Bacall. This could be our Brandon Cooks, this fucking guy. Christian Kirk brought in 3 of 6 targets for 49 yards and a touchdown in the Saint Jaguars win over the Colts on Sunday. Kirk's yardage total, modest as it was, led the Jaguars on a day when Trevor Lawrence threw for just 181 yards. However, Kirk did come down with one of Lawrence's 2 scoring tosses, recording a 29-yard grab with 140 remaining in the 2nd quarter. The receiver's 2nd touchdown of the campaign, Kirk has at least 6 targets in 5 consecutive contests, heading into a Week 7 road matchup against the Saints on Thursday night. Christian Kirk. Calvin Ridley brought in 4 of 8 targets for 30 yards and rushed once for -4 yards in the Jaguars' win over the Colts on Sunday. Ridley finished second on the team in receptions to Evan Ingram and led the Jaguars in targets, but his yardage total left plenty to be desired. The speedy veteran has just compiled a season-best 122 yards in Week 6 against the Bills in London, so Sunday's downturn was especially disappointing. Ridley will aim to atone in a Week 7 road matchup against the Saints on Thursday night. Ingram. That's 2 for Ingram. Where are we? C.J. Beth nothing. Derek Carr was estimated as limited in Monday's practice report. The Saints didn't actually practice Monday after losing to the Texans on Sunday, but they were required to post an injury report ahead of Thursday night's date with the Jaguars. Carr has been playing through his shoulder issue, but has been ineffective through his first 6 games for New Orleans, averaging 6.5 yards per attempt and 206.5 yards per game, with 5 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. That's it. Ineffective. He put up 20 fucking points. Looks pretty goddamn effective to me. Wow, he was shit though his first few games there. Carr's a tough play, huh? Olave. Listed as a limited participant in Monday's estimated practice report. Olave practiced in full last week ahead of Sunday's Week 6 loss to the Texans, when the stalwart turned in a 7.96 O-line on 10 targets. On the next short week, Olave could be limited ahead of Thursday's game against the Jags, but he's expected to be out there for his normal role. He did turn in quite the stat line, didn't he? That just talks about him. With Carr, just talks about him, right? The explosive playmaker, Raheed Shaheed. Trevor Lawrence, listed as a non-participant in Monday's estimated practice report. Jacksonville held a walkthrough practice Monday, so Lawrence's DNP designation is an estimation. Still, after Coach Doug Peterson called the quarterback day-to-day per Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network, that estimation appears accurate. Jacksonville has expressed optimism that the starting quarterback isn't dealing with a long-term injury, but with a short turnaround before Thursday's road matchup against the Saints. It's possible backup C.J. Beathard ends up drawing a start. Lawrence will have 2 more chances to log some amount of practice activity before being tagged with an injury designation for Week 7. Beathard. Could have swore they mentioned Beathard. Yeah, they did. Yeah, CJ, there he is. 2 for CJ. And finally, Travis Etienne rushed 18 times for 55 yards and 2 touchdowns and brought in all 3 targets for 28 yards in the Jaguars' win over the Colts on Sunday. The Colts' run defense did a very good job overall limiting Etienne's efficiency, but the third-year back salvaged his fantasy day with 2 and 22-yard touchdown scoring runs in the second quarter, the latter coming off a direct snap on the first play immediately following a Gardner Minshew fumble. Etienne crossed the goal line just once in the first 4 games of the season. Now he's recorded 4 touchdowns in the last pair of contests heading into a Week 7 road matchup against the Saints on Thursday night. Saints defense is quite good, aren't they? This is Thursday night football. What do we have here in terms of votes? 2 for Zay Jones, 2 for Evan Ingram, 2 for CJ Beathard. That's all boring. You know who the fuck we're taking. Travis Etienne. The man's a beast. The man is a fucking beast, and we don't know who's playing quarterback, which we don't mean who don't know who's getting any fucking passes. Oh, look at that 39 burger right there. As for the Saints, we got 4 for Olave. We got 4 for Hill. We got 5 for Kamara. We got 5 for Carr. I like Shaheed. So we're gonna go Carr, Kamara, Olave, Hill, Shaheed. Let's try it out. We're definitely taking ETN and Shaheed in each lineup, and then we're gonna line up just fucking. These are gonna be essentially Saint Slaughter stacks. I'm gonna run the obvious, and then maybe play 20 more lineups without running the obvious. The disparity will come from the captainship. Carr. Want Shaheed first. So now I need Hill or Olave. If you take Olave, what do we get down here? Strange, which again, I don't mind that. That guy was coming into the game. If we take Hill, Jaguars D, which is odd against the captain. I don't like doing that shit sometimes. Or, right, fucking here, Jamal Williams. Is he going to play? Williams' turn. Okay, this suggests will soon be designated to return. Prior to going down, Williams will, once he returns, that's nothing. It's vague bullshit. Ah, you fucking cunt. Shaheed is explosive. We want him in there. Mara Etienne, definitely. One lone representative of the Jaguars. Although, look what happened to Austin Eckler tonight. He got shut. He got shut the fuck down. Does Jacksonville have what it takes to fucking rip roughshod over fucking the Saints? Hmm. What's Olave got going on? What if? I mean, Olave's banged up, right? Oh, I'm looking to see if Mikey T could be my Brandon Cooks tonight. Even hurt, this guy's better. Could be limited, but he's expected to be out there for his normal role. God damn it. What if we took Mikey T? Foster Moreau. Foster Moreau could be a decent contrarian pick. Hmm. Why don't you take the Saints D? Get the Jags kicker. Get the Jags D. This could seriously be a defensive game. What's the spread in this fucking game? Want to get? Oh no, yeah, I need Thursday. Oh, they don't have it up yet. They don't fucking spreads up yet. One second here. Sportsbook. Over under in this game, 39 fucking points. Get the defenses in this goddamn game. Should we be contrary? Nah, because we don't want the Jaguars D in there. Saints kicker. Can't get the Saints kicker. I'm not thinking contrarian. I'm trying to think safe here. Think contrarian. Think contrarian. Think contrarian. Hmm. You get one or the other, right? So you take one of these fuckers. What do you get behind them? Strange. Nah. ETN Car Shahid. I don't know. I don't mind that. But will ETN be able to play against? Hmm. I just keep having bad visions of Austin Eckler, but the kid's hot. He's got a hot hand. Hmm. He gets targets, lots of targets every game. You know we like ETN. We know we like Shaheed. Dak was the big star tonight. This could be the week of fucking quarterback redemptions. So we need a target for him. Olave's banged up. So what if Mikey T becomes the number one? Let's think contrarian. Olave, we've looked at Hill, we've looked at everybody. We're not looking at Mikey T. Is this the game where Mikey T becomes our guy? Our handcuffs are Carr and Mikey T. Shaheed. And you got Shaheed there to be the handcuffs. Maybe we don't need Mikey T because we got Shaheed as opposed to Olave. Cutting Olave. We got Etienne, Shaheed, and Carr. That's our starting core right there. What is the lowest six card we were interested in? We were interested in nobody back here. Strange. So you have up to 9,400 to spend. We might as well just put Strange in. Yes. So you got 94 to spend. You can get Olave. You can get Bethard. No one's going to play this backup fucking quarterback. Everybody's going to be trying to get one of the targets. So what if going with Bethard is the contrarian fucking play? Because you can get Ridley, you can get Kirk. What if you get the guy throwing to both of them? There is no recon on Bethard. Hmm. What happens here if you take Thomas? You don't want Thomas because you got Rashid. Tonight's winning lineup had different receivers in the tight end. There's no tight end. Well, there is a tight end on this team. Ingram. If Ingram's the way to go. Ingram's the Everett. A healthy Ingram. What if that's the best way to get to Bethard? Bethard. What did they say about Ingram again? Is anything good about Ingram? He's already up to 44 targets through 6 games, putting him on pace to surpass last season's 98. Ingram next takes aim at the Saints' defense in Week 7's road matchup, although it remains to be seen if he'll be operating with Lawrence or Bethard as his quarterback in the contest. What's the difference? He's the tight end. Don't the backup quarterbacks love their tight ends? Leaving us 46 to get a kicker that was in tonight's winning lineup, but they're not here. Jaguars D. Contrarian enough to work. Ah, with the sports book, God forbid. I went to the fucking sports book for 3 seconds. Jesus Christ. Alcamara, ETN, Carr, Ingram. Do we like Jaguars? The Shaheed, Carr, Shaheed. We had 10-4 left over. We're still fucking around what we wanted to do. I feel like let's go to Ingram. What do you get with Hill? No bargain, right? You can't get the kickers. Keeps coming back to Jaguars D. Thomas, Boston Monroe. I don't like it. I don't like it. No, Shaheed stays. Mikey T's got to go. What if you dump Carr? I mean, 50 fucking passes, man. He's never come close to throwing that many passes. That was a close game. Hmm. If we switch it up, pitch Carr for Bethard, right? We want Shaheed. That's a given. Shaheed, Etienne, Bethard. Let's get our core in first. I want to think contrarian. Maybe they let this kid air it out against the fucking Saints. Obviously, Kamara. So Kamara, Bethard, Shaheed, Lawrence. He ain't playing. Let's make this a second Kamara. Etienne. This one will have Carr and Shaheed. This one has Bethard, Etienne, Shaheed. This was Etienne, Carr, Shaheed. All right, there you go. I like that. Switching of quarterbacks. Olave. I'm gonna need another ETN. Kendra Miller, you ain't being a captain. ETN, Carr. Where's the other guy? Is he up here? Yes, he is. Kamara. Shaheed. He's both the top running backs. So one's got Bethard, one's got Carr. That's gonna be our first switch over. So Olave, along with Kamara, ETN, Bethard, Shaheed, Bigsby, Miller, but I like Strange. There it is. Boosh. First lineup in the books. Now we had Carr, Kamara, Etienne, Bethard, Shaheed, leaving us enough for Strange. Faces come out of the range when you're strange. No one remembers your name. Bethard, along with Kamara, Etienne, Carr, and Shaheed. Keeps coming down to Strange. Leave that money on the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. Ridley, Kamara, Etienne, Bethard, Shaheed. Grab Foster Moreau there at the 6th card. Mr. Foster Moreau. You got Kurt, along with Kamara, Etienne, Bethard, and Shaheed. Jaguars D, abso-fucking-tibly. Jacksonville D. Gonna rip some rush shot all over the goddamn place. Mikey T, Kamara, Etienne, Bethard. Where's he at? Shaheed. With enough left over for Bradley Group A. Taysom Hill, along with Kamara, Etienne, Bethard, and Shaheed. Leaving us with enough for Ingram. I like Ingram. Something's talking to me about Ingram. Kamara, Etienne, Bethard, Shaheed, Mikey T. Fizibobele. Saints defense. Let's get Group A in there. Along with Kamara, Etienne, Bethard, and Rahiji. Yes, we leave the money on the table. Although we probably don't need, I probably shouldn't have Bethard in there. Yeah, let's get that in the car. There it is. No one remembers your name. No love. I'm rolling Shaheed in this one. Rahid Shaheed. Bradley Group A. Along with Kamara, Etienne, Bethard, Shaheed, Christian Kirk, Christian Kirk. Alrighty. Rahid Shahid, along with Kamara, Etienne, Bethard, Carr, with enough left over for. Just miss out on a kicker. Jaguars D. Obscure 6 card. To fit into this lineup. Just strange enough to work. McManus, Kamara, Etienne, Bethard, Shahid, Ridley. Wonderful. Mm-mm-mm-mm. We have here Jaguars D, Kamara, Etienne, Bethard, Shahid, 10,000. We're not wanting here. Well, we don't have cars. We don't need it. So it's a Jaguars D. Give me some Ridley. Some Ridley rolls. Dad. Zay Jones. So we got one Kamara, two Kamaras, one ETN, two ETN, Zay Jones. Who else is left here? Foster Moreau, Tank Bigsby. Yeah. Yeah. We're going to make this a David Carr slaughter stack. Carr, Kamara, Olave, Shahid. Simply because it doesn't feel like there's any kind of real tight end. Mikey T. Saints D. Bradley Group A. Hmm. There we go. God damn it. Oh, it's all Saints. That's why. It's all Saints. McManus. The ultimate slaughter stack. And then we flip it over. And we run a slaughter stack here. Oddly enough, with CJ Beathard. Along with both of his magical receivers. He's running back. And he's tight end. Leaving enough for. Oh, we just missed Shahid. We really should get Shahid. Someone's got to go here. There we go. Alrighty. That one's in. Tank Bigsby. Now, this is where we're running a double defense. Jaguars up top. Saints also in there. Well, the Saints D, I feel, has been the more dominant D. So we're going to do the Saints D. Saints, Jaguars D. Mara Etienne, obviously. Let's go grab Shahid. Who's the one to go with here? Hmm. Be a low scoring game. Maybe Taysom Hill's the difference maker. I'm not sure about that. A lot of money. Leave a lot of money on the table here. Michael Thomas is still talking to me. There it is. All right. Well, these other four, I have to wait for my other money to cash in here, I guess. So, may fate and fate decide your fortune if you should win. Blow your money right here on the new Pharaoh's Lounge Kickstarter. Peace, love, war, all that other shit in between.